Hello and welcome to Soundbites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield from the Daily Memphian. I'm here with Chef Kelly English, owner of the Irish Restaurant Group, several restaurants in Memphis. We're going to get into all of them, but welcome, Kelly.
Hi, Holly.
It's been a long time since you've been on Soundbites. We're so happy to have you back.
I was hoping it wasn't something I said. It has been a bit.
Nope, it's just the way the world meanders, but we're happy to have you today. We're going to talk about renovations at the Second Line restaurant in Midtown. We're going to talk about the pop-up that's going on there now in the midst of all of that. A big celebrity visit to Restaurant Iris, and a lot of food and a lot of other fun things, including maybe some hot takes. But first, I have to tell the people that Soundbites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series at the Daily Memphian. Make sure you're not missing out on those. You can hear the newest episodes of Soundbites every week, Crosstown's radio station WYXR. Thursdays at 11. You can search Soundbites Daily Memphian on iTunes and Spotify, any podcast app you're liking these days, and find us there. You can also even stream episodes for free at dailymemphian.com. If you are listening on WYXR, up next you can tune into the Sidebar podcast with our CEO, Eric Barnes. This week he's interviewing Suna Leyburn, who is organizing the Hungry Tiger Food Tour this month. That should be another delicious food-related interview. But let's get started with Kelly English. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for coming back. Parker Posey.
So nice.
Rumor was she came in to eat at Iris this 2 weeks ago? No, this past weekend.
This past weekend.
Tell us what happened.
So every month, she was so nice, first off, but every month, one Saturday, we do a demonstration luncheon. Okay. Where people come, they get 3 courses for $55, and I do a cooking demo for them. Well, she came in with her family, and her mom is a big foodie and likes to learn how to cook. They saw us doing that in the back room at Iris, and she waited outside the door. And when I walked out, she put her hand out and she said, "Hi, I'm Parker Posey from White Lotus Season 3, which is really like so on brand for her to me. And she said that her mom was really interested in what we were doing and asked if I could come tell her about what was going on. And so I went and chatted with them, and Parker and I spoke for 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, so engaging. I had to pass her off.
Yeah.
Because I know she had better things to do than chat with me in the middle of a dining room. But
because she had been to Novel Bookstore, which is in Laurelwood, with you guys at Iris already that
yeah, and
day.
she might have cousins here.
Yeah.
Her stepdad and mom live in Laurel, Mississippi.
Interesting.
And just great people.
Yeah.
I told her that, my wife and I, when people ask how we met, we go into the Best in Show bit about Starbucks and just see
the
who can
Starbucks
catch
across
it.
the street from each other.
Yeah, Starbucks, not the same one.
Yes.
Yeah. But she was just lovely.
Did you watch White Lotus Season 3?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure is White Lotus for me.
Me too.
100%.
Yeah. Loved White Lotus. That's really fun. You guys took a really fun selfie.
So I asked her, and I never asked anyone for selfies, but I had to for my wife. And she said, I don't do selfies, but I will photobomb you taking a selfie. So if you see her and look at all the pictures she's tagged in, she's got her arm up and all she does is photobomb people.
That is a much more accurate description of what's happening in the picture you posted, a photobomb, because she's a little bit blurry.
It's the best one I had.
Yeah, it's really good. No, I mean that in the best way. Like, it definitely looks like the photobomb that she requested. So that was really fun. I think it's always fun for Memphians when people come and recognize what we're doing. And I don't know why she was here to begin with, but I'm glad she was.
I don't know if it was a graduation. I heard that she might have had another family member that was in one of the barbecue contests.
Yes.
Brisket guy of some type.
Something like that.
Nonetheless, at Iris.
So, Kelly, you opened Rocket Greens and Things food truck just a few months ago in March. Is that right? In Midtown.
That's right.
You have Fino's in Midtown. Swamp Bar, I would say, has long since hit its stride.
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. And the thing I'm most proud of that place is Dirk and Sam. That's their baby.
Yeah.
And watching them, do their thing with the restaurant has been really fun for me to be able to see kind of from the sidelines on that one.
Yeah. And so Dirk Meitzler.
Yep.
And Sam, remind me her last name.
Sam Reeves Hill.
Sam Reeves Hill. She's been on my list to talk to on this podcast.
She's an amazing artist.
Yeah. She's really good. And Dirk is super cool too. Sometime maybe if we could, I don't know if we could get him on, But I first met him. I'm just going to do this really side story really quick. But I first met him when I was doing the I Love Memphis blog. And I didn't normally do the kinds of stories that I'm about to describe. But I was like, so many questions were swirling about Ernestine and Hazel's when it was going to reopen after some renovations post-pandemic. I just got sick of the rumors. And I was like, I'm just going to find out. I'm just going to find the person who knows and ask them. And the worst case scenario is that they're going to tell me they don't want to talk to me. And then I'll just be like, okay, well, I'll wait along with everybody else. But I got Dirk's information somehow. I knew that he was going to be up at the vault or whatever it was called doing his thing. And I waited there at the bar until he came in. And I was like, hi, I'm being really annoying right now. And you can totally tell me to like buzz off. But also if you have 3 minutes, what's going on over there? Like, let me just answer the questions that the people have. And he was super cool about it.
Dirk is...
He really was. And he's been super cool to me ever since.
No, he's awesome. Dirk has been a blessing to our company since he got there. You know, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife of experience and skill set in our industry. And I'm really, really thankful to have him on my team.
Thank you for indulging that side story. But I'm going down your list of places. We've got the salad food truck in Midtown. We've got Fino's. We've got Swamp Bar. We've got Iris, of course.
Yep.
And we have the Second Line. Am I missing anything before we get to the pop-up at Second Line?
No, that's it. Well, we have a catering company.
Yeah.
Yep.
Iris, etc.
Iris, etc.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds like plenty.
That's enough. That's enough.
So Sophia Sarah at Daily Memphian wrote a Food Files article a few weeks ago that shared the news that you're renovating Second Line and you're also doing a pop-up. I want to talk about both of these things. Should we do the food first?
Sure.
Yeah. Walk us through the pop-up. Why Hawaiian food?
So we've done a bunch of different pop-ups all since the pandemic. And one of the things that the pandemic really at least taught me is that you should just try. And one of the cool things that came out of the pandemic for me was that I had time to kind of research different cultures that instead of just plugging the things that we normally did. And, you know, we had a Spanish restaurant. We've been to Portugal. We've been to all kinds of places. And, you know, first of all, Second Line's, the floor needed to be replaced. You cannot operate a restaurant without a floor. Not that I've seen, at least.
It would be weird.
Yeah, it'd be like the Jetsons, right? But we have this outdoor patio, and we thought
great patio.
Thank you, with the bar outside and all that.
I love it.
And we thought it just kind of, with this time of year, it went really well to dive into what Hawaii was like. We also thought it was the right time. Like, if you were just going by the textbook times to do this, we should have probably waited until the summer when the things are the slowest and shut the whole thing down and done it. But we didn't want to leave our employees out to dry.
Yeah.
So while we have really good patio weather, we thought we'd do it right now. And so you can go there and we have Kalua pork belly. We've got lots of mahi. We've got some huli huli chicken wings. Huli huli is kind of like a teriyaki with pineapple type of situation that they do a lot down there. We have a lot of Spam in house right now.
Okay.
It's not scary.
I bet you've never said that before.
Nope, I have not. But I have a father that loves Spam. And we used to have Spam and eggs all the time as kids. But we've gotten to get really into that culture, which is its own culture. And what's really cool about Hawaiian food is there's a strong line of the way food was before it became a state and after.
Yes.
And both of them are equally present in how they eat now. But there is a hard line about how things were before and after statehood.
So the Loco Moco.
Is
that a good example of like post?
I think so.
I think statehood.
I think Spam kind of came about with the military coming about and being around there.
The bases,
Loco Moco is sushi rice with a hamburger steak with mushroom gravy on top and a fried egg. Makes a really good burger as well. The Kalua pork is really all in the salt that you would massage into the pork and then smoke that pork. So it's not the same as barbecue that we think of here, but it's the same process. And
just a different flavor profile.
Yeah. Lots of macadamia nuts, lots of fish, no oysters.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a ton of fun. And really, this was an opportunity for our bar staff to jump into boat drinks. The other thing that we researched really hard was what is misappropriated. Mm-hmm. So like the terms luau.
Yeah.
The term luau is not something that I should use.
Sure.
That is a ceremony. It's not just, everybody getting around a pig.
Yeah.
Putting a lei on someone is not something that someone that isn't of that culture, that they shouldn't do. And, a lot of people are it's kind of 50-50 on what people think of the term tiki.
Right.
So we've kind of been calling them boat drinks.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And there is not a brick and mortar Hawaiian restaurant in town.
No, I've actually wondered about that a few times because it just sounds.
Well, we're really careful with all of our pop-ups that we are not infringing on anyone's ability to make money on their own culture.
Sure.
And hopefully what comes out of this is that someone of the appropriate culture will see, hey, this has been done. Mm-hmm. So kind of like a leading fullback in a football game, hopefully will spurn someone to
proof of concept.
Yeah, 100%.
It could work. Yeah. So, okay, boat drinks. I think people know what a boat drink is.
Yeah.
But I'm always interested in hearing people's definition.
We've got so much citrus juice right now that we have like...
It's just like Spam and juice.
Spam and grapefruit juice and orange juice and limes and lemons.
That's good. You got a favorite boat drink on the menu? Or are you like, I'm not...
So I don't drink at my restaurants.
Okay, fair enough.
A little in 2018, I made the decision, not that I drank much at the restaurants, but there were a couple things that happened in the world that I just thought, I don't want my employees to drink at the restaurants after they work, and I'm going to set that tone. So in our company, you're not eligible to drink at any of our establishments if you've worked that day.
Yeah.
I just think you should go somewhere else to blow off steam, not where you work.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever put one of our employees in a position where they have to cut another one of their peers or their bosses off. And so I never drink at the restaurants.
Right. Well, most people don't drink where they work.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
You don't drink at the Daily Memphian? You don't throw them back?
No. Me and Bill Drees, if we were left to our own devices, we'd just be in there pounding Budweisers. No, definitely not.
So
no drinking going on.
His Twitter account is one of my favorite Twitter accounts in town.
It's so good.
And it's not for what he actually does. Like I'm a culture nerd. Mm-hmm. And so he'll repost things and I'm like, oh, follow. He's following that. I'll follow that.
Yeah.
And my whole feed is just kind of piggybacking off of what he reposts.
I love watching his Twitter X whatever feed on like city council days because he's giving you all this commentary on like what the council members are doing and not doing and like what's wrong with their microphones.
He's always about the microphones.
Always about the microphones.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for following. Okay, so you have a lot of places.
I do.
That you're working with and a lot of great people. It seems like you've chosen to help you do that, but it's a lot. Is that 5 at least? 5, 6? Are you okay? How is it going?
Yeah, I would say I'm okay.
Okay. You seem okay, but have to ask.
There was, I will tell you that the first year after we moved and opened Iris was very difficult on me. Moving a 5-night-a-week, 12-table restaurant to a 200-seat, 7-day-a-week lunch and dinner restaurant took its toll on me in ways that I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of the work we've done, but that first year was a difficult year for me.
Was it just the scale that was the biggest challenge, or what was the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think that in the beginning, and rightfully so, I think that our guests came in looking for that experience of a Victorian home where every table was in the corner of a small room. And there's just no way that those two things can be the same.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm equally proud of what we're doing at Iris now and what we did in 2008. But they are slightly different. Just like human beings, grow up and do different things as they evolve. Restaurant Iris certainly is a different restaurant than it was when it opened. And but I am, like I said, I love both versions of it, and there have been different versions in between. Yeah. Like when I look back on my career, and I think about times when Cam Razavi was in charge of that kitchen, and his father was Persian, his mom is Native American, and we really let him kind of do his thing.
It was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
I look back on other times in my life. I look back on the year that I got divorced, and there's no doubt to me that was the year that the food was the least happy to me. So I would say that the year that I got divorced and the first year that we moved to East Memphis were the toughest 2 years professionally for me. But everything's great now.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think things are hitting their stride, and we're talking about change again. Like, what are the plans for the second line renovations? In that Sophia article I keep mentioning, I'll link to it if you're listening to this on dailymemphian.com. But you said you want to spruce it up. You want it to be like, I don't think you said cute, but like the cute younger brother of a sophisticated older sister, Iris. But like, what are you doing specifically? Like, I know you said the floor.
Sure. Well, second line, when that small little Iris was next door to second line, it was kind of the shabby version, and it kind of, in a sense of reciprocity, made sense. And then when I went back and looked at it on its own, it felt less thought of than I wanted it to be. And so what we want to do is we want to dot the I's and cross the T's back a little bit with the interior. We want to refinish the floors. We're putting a new floor in behind the bar. There's a lot of things we're doing that guests won't see.
Yes, but that stuff is so important.
Correct. It's the foundation of a house, literally. And, we want to look at what we're doing in the kitchen and make sure that we are doing the right amount of things to where everything that we do, we nail. I feel like the menu has grown to a place where we weren't nailing all those details.
Things can sprawl a little.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that we do at Iris that are the same thing that we did at Second Line. We'll probably duplicate things less and bring things back to the roots that Second Line is. We talked about it before we went on air, but that roast beef po' boy is the reason I opened that restaurant.
That's amazing.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
And that sandwich is my ratatouille. Yeah. The food critic, where like you take a bite and I go back in time to sit at a table with people that might not even be alive anymore. And but yeah, that sandwich is really important to me.
That's good. I had roast beef po' boys every Sunday growing up in Hattiesburg. I've said it before on the podcast. But so that's fun and special as well. But you've got some other great stuff there. The spinach madeleine, is that coming around again maybe one day?
Yes, and it's on the menu at Iris too.
Okay, perfect.
And Dirk has done great. Like a lot of the things that are going to stay on that menu are the things that Dirk has put his fingerprints on. And
love it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a couple of weeks, and in the meantime, the Hawaiian food pop-up is going to keep going. But people need to go ahead and go if they want to try it, because you're on a timeline.
Yeah, I don't know what that timeline is right now.
You can't.
I can't control. That's one thing another thing the pandemic did for me is I almost toxically do not stress about things I can't control. And before the pandemic, that's all I did, was just worried about when is that delivery going to show up. I can't control it. So, we don't know how long this pop-up will go on. We'll probably have a few second line things available from time to time. But you should go. I mean, these pop-ups are really fun and they're short-lived.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about your social media just a little bit. Obviously, it's a personal interest of mine, since that's what I work in. I think since the pandemic began, or maybe even before, you have taken a certain social media strategy, which I think can be very effective. You're talking to the camera.
I do.
You're sharing your hot takes.
I do.
How is that? How did that come about? Do you have somebody else who's like, come on, Kelly, you need to like get in front of the phone today? Or are you like, I have an idea. This is what I'm doing. Because you're always in front of the restaurant, like in whatever weather, telling people like it is. I guess just tell me a little bit about that strategy.
So I think it's almost an anti-strategy.
Yeah. It's like guerrilla a little bit.
It 100%. And there are things that I will tell my marketing guys. His name is Caleb Sigler. He's great.
Yeah, he's super cool. I love Caleb.
Oh yeah, Caleb's awesome.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I don't know about that one. It started during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. It was our only outlet for doing business. It was the only way to connect with customers. And, I think that I like to be really honest with people. I like to, I like to do things other than cook. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a way for me to be myself without being so buttoned up. And just kind of talk about what we have going on. But yes, I do. It's not all photo shoot shots that are on my social media feed for sure.
So hot takes. Let's do some quick hot takes.
Sure. How about you rapid fire them too?
I'm going to rapid fire. I love doing that. Your take on The Bear, the TV show.
The Bear, I hope that The Bear does not end where he has a successful restaurant, life balance, and he gets the girl back, because that's false. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I'm scared that that's going to happen. But The Bear makes me, is a weird thing, because it makes me feel validated and it terrifies me at the same time. Like my wife and I will watch it and we have very different takeaways from it. And she will laugh at something and I'm curled up, in the side of the couch, gnawing my fingernails off.
Yeah.
And
like, this hurts me.
Yeah.
I'm in this show. Yeah.
What I really take away from it, and I think everybody that has a place in a restaurant can take something different. I own restaurants and I am the chef of restaurants. My biggest takeaway is that Carmy, everyone in that show, especially in the first season, had the opportunity or had almost the permission to do something detrimental to the restaurant. Leaving the ticket machine on, almost burning the place down. The list goes on and on. And Carmy just kind of had to deal with that. And then when he lost his temper one time, his team wanted to walk out on him.
Yeah.
And
standard for him.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like there's a lot of permission for a lot of people in different places to do things that I don't feel. Mm-hmm. And there are, there was a big talk during the pandemic of people wanting restaurant workers to have more flexible schedules. Yes. Everybody's on board with that. I am too. And I believe everybody's on board with that until their cheeseburger is late.
Yeah.
And then they're not.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of tough, So, but I love The Bear. I think The Bear does a really good job of things that other shows have not done for us.
Yes. Okay. Kroger.
Kroger needs to get it together.
This week you had a whole thing. You were like, Kroger needs to do this. Kroger does not even have a security guard. Tandem shoppers, I don't know what that is.
Sure.
First off, hot take on Kroger.
First off, self-checkout's fine. I'll do it. Please fix the machines to make them work. I mean, have you ever been there and used it and not had to call somebody over? Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
Also, if you're going to make me check myself out, don't make me check out with a security guard. I literally walk straight by them.
Yeah.
I will not listen to them. I'm like a teenager listening to Rage Against the Machine when they show up. Like I will walk right by them.
Yeah.
Because they don't even look. They just swipe with a highlighter. It's so dumb.
It's a weird ritual they're forcing on you. Yeah.
I think that we have gotten to the place in society where people are shopping online with apps enough to where Kroger should have their own checkout for the people shopping with apps. So you get in the self-checkout line, you got somebody, and nothing against the people that are working for this at all. I think Kroger just needs to evolve.
Instacart,
sure.
Yeah.
And they've got 3 checkouts they need to do, and they've got them all segregated in their cart. It's such a hassle. And then tandem shoppers.
Yes.
So a tandem shopper, and this might be my term that I don't know, but a tandem shopper is a couple that goes into shop. and one of them gets in line to check out, and they're checking out, and then their partner shows up with a full cart to also check out. Like, please stop this, people. You can't do this.
Where are you seeing this? Are you at the Union?
I am
Kroger?
at Union, I'm at Highland, and I am at Mendenhall. Those are my three.
Well, that's messed up.
It is messed up.
I understand if you're like, oh, you run go get like a lime that you forgot.
No, it's a full cart.
No,
full cart.
That's messed up. Okay, last rapid fire hot take, which is probably not as rapid. We've talked about it so much on the podcast. We've talked about it on Behind the Headlines. But there's this sort of idea every time a restaurant closes that people are like, oh, everything's closing. Another one bites the dust. Oh, my God, Houston's closed and our city is in shambles now. The earth is going to swallow us up. What are your thoughts on that? And then also the side point of like when people say that and then they're also like, oh, it's because of crime, like with a capital C.
I think it's lazy.
Oh.
I think it's lazy to blame everything on crime. I think that crime is a conversation, but I don't think that people recognize how demanding this job is. And I'm not here to get on a soapbox about what I do every day, but it's not something anyone would really choose if they saw my day, my week, or my month. And can we talk about Houston's in general?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that Houston's saying that they were leaving because of crime is, you'd have to beat me out for me to really answer this, but it's horse crap.
Yeah.
And I think that...
You're in a Whole Foods parking lot.
They're in a Whole Foods parking lot.
Yeah.
They made a bunch of policies to alienate their clientele. And then they left, and they've had several people try to buy the building that they have not sold it to at their asking price.
Yeah.
And so like they just wanted to leave Memphis. That's what they wanted to do. I don't understand their strategy at all, but I think that the idea that everything is about crime is just lazy.
And it kind of gives other restaurants that may close for a variety of reasons permission even to continue to use that excuse, which happened before Houston's and it's going to happen after. But
that's right.
Yeah.
And I know that this is a different type of controversy that people have very opinionated sides on, but the fact of the matter is that we have a lot of global companies that are trying to invest in our communities. Now, we can talk about whether they are doing it ethically or not, but people see opportunity in Memphis for one reason or another. I don't think that they should come here and use all our water. I don't think they should come and pollute our communities. I'm not advocating or not advocating, but the fact of the matter is that there are companies, global companies, that see Memphis as a place that they can do something. And so the idea that nothing works here is false.
False. Yeah. I feel that. We're going to switch gears with the time we have left and really talk about some food.
Sure.
Most underrated menu item or items that
mine or other
serves.
people's?
Well, we can do both, but I was really asking about yours, like especially for Iris, but for any of the places, any Fino's, something that people are like, you're like, well, more people should order this anywhere.
At Iris, we have this crawfish boil tart that is a steal and it takes a ton of work to do, and it barely sells. I can't understand it.
Crawfish boil tart.
Oh, it's awesome. It's got caramelized corn and roasted garlic and andouille, all the things you have in a crawfish boil in a little tart. It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
At Second Line, everything really sells pretty well at Second Line. It is a very, very approachable restaurant. What's interesting to me about Rocket Greens is I think the least approachable salad, our Korean salad, is the one that sells the most. Fino's, we've tried from time to time to switch things up. People are so set in their ways when they come to Fino's about what they want.
They can't help
I've always
it.
had that. No, I love them for it. Thank God that people want to come in and they have opinions about what it is we serve. But yeah. Now, other places.
Yes.
So we recently, my wife and I, and my wife has I have stepchildren,
yes.
Twin 9-year-olds. We recently tried this place called Bonchon. Oh, very fun. Yeah. Bonchon Chicken. Mm-hmm. It's a Korean fried chicken restaurant. It's awesome. I believe it's Uber Eat forward or app forward, and it's a chain out of New York, I believe. Fantastic. Really, really good.
Like just real crispy or like...
Yes, flavorful. Mm-hmm. They have these glass noodles with bulgogi that are fantastic. Their chicken wings are great. I haven't had anything there that I didn't love.
Well, that sounds delicious. Do you cook at home? And if so, what?
It's so...
No one would blame you if you were like, never.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I know that it's romantic to think about, a chef cooking at home.
Kinda.
We don't.
If you didn't hear Natalie McGundy said, is it though? Like...
It's funny, and I've seen a bunch of memes about how little people actually like to cook with other people, and it's so true. Like, I'll get at home, cooking at home, and my wife will come in, and I just want her to get away from the stove.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, just let me get out. I'm multitasking. I'm back in my workspace.
You're in the zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, I totally get that. That's fair. So, in light of that, this is the recommendation portion of the evening. Where's some great spots in Memphis that you find yourself back at? Some specific dishes that you like? Places that you recommend?
There is so much great food in the city.
It's true.
In so many different neighborhoods. Whether you're talking about Pop's Tamales in Orange Mound, or you're talking about Good Fortune downtown, or I think Amelia Jean's is the best example of that kind of restaurant that Memphis has ever had.
How would you describe that kind of restaurant?
That's Michelin star level.
Yeah.
And in a different way that other restaurants have been. I think that when Iris opened, I think people thought it was this kind of groundbreaking restaurant. It wasn't. Mm-hmm. Iris was steeped in New Orleans tradition. It was a modern French Creole restaurant that happened to open in Memphis. And I think that as we've seen things evolve, I think that the year that Iris opened was the same year Angel Michael opened like 6 months later. Yes. Cafe Eclectic opened that year. Muddy's opened that year. And it was kind of this really important year in what Memphis dining would be moving forward. And we were, on the backs of Erling Jensen and Jose at that time. He was at Encore, I believe, and then mainstays that like Felicia Suzanne's that have been there. But 2008 was a big year. I was lucky to be a part of that, and I think we're seeing it now. Like when you see the Good Fortune folks, and you see that three-headed monster of Kinfolk and Hard Times, and they're opening more things.
Gussied Up, Dive Bar.
And they're great guys.
Yeah.
And then you get to Whitehaven with Bala Tunkara at Bala's, and you can have true African food, and you can go out to Germantown and have the Magallanes family's stuff at Las Tortugas. Like, there are no bad turns to take in this town. And I think that people forget, like, sometimes you ignore what you actually have because things look shiny in other places. And I just, this town is awesome. Yeah. This is a great place to live and a great place to eat. And I'm really fortunate to live and to work in my industry in Memphis, Tennessee specifically.
That's amazing. I love that. And I love talking about, like, sort of, not the next generation, but like just the next turn. The next turn in Memphis dining.
I remember being that kid. I was 29 years old when Iris opened. I was too young. It's stupid.
Crazy.
It's stupid.
That's wild.
I'll tell you what I'm really fortunate for. I'm fortunate for the people I got to work in the kitchen with, but I had a front of the house at Iris when we opened, led by Jeff Frisbee with a few other people that I owe a lot to. Jeff is at Tsunami now. Without that crew, I don't know if I would be talking to y'all now. It's a very difficult business. You've got to really skate a hard line of making people happy, paying attention to your P&L, being creative, all that stuff. And I'm a very fortunate person to have been open for almost 20 years. I mean, it's nuts.
When did you move to Memphis?
I moved to Memphis 6 months before Iris opened.
Okay, so 2008.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. I've seen, like I said, my peers of Andy and Michael and a few other people, I've seen, all of us kind of grow up together and do the things that we love to do. And it's like I said, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else than Memphis, Tennessee.
Thank you. You have dropped some really great recommendations and a plentiful number of recommendations. Sometimes people are like, oh yeah, and they name one place. But I love the list that you've given us. That's always fun and something I like to have on Soundbites. So thank you so much for being so open and talking about everything from Kroger probs to Parker Posey, everything that's going on with the renovations at the Second Line. And in the meantime, this Hawaiian food pop-up with boat drinks on the patio there in Midtown. Are people still, what's going on? Wait, I have to ask you this before I close. What's going on with the speed bump? I just remembered the median thing. Did they knock that down? Is that still there?
It's still there.
Okay.
It's still there. It's still the worst design thing in the city. It's dumb. It doesn't need to be there. I feel like
I'm laughing. I know it's an actual problem though.
It was poorly designed, and it almost felt like whoever designed it in the city years ago, it was almost like a kid doubling down. Like they know they messed up, and they cannot admit it, so they're just going to build more of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's invisible. And, when I would talk to the city officials or police officers or whoever, they would say, drunk people are hitting it. And that is not what was happening. What was happening is people were taking a left and hitting it because you couldn't see it. You still can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've had to tap on the brakes a few times going down that road.
One of my favorite pastimes is picking up the shrapnel of either wrecks or
fender benders,
or the street signs that get knocked down, and I'll put them on top of the Second Line sign.
I remember this. I can't find it now. Maybe I'll find it for the little write-up that goes with this podcast. But I feel like I did an April Fool's list back in the I Love Memphis days that was like, Kelly English is going to open a pop-up bar on the...
You did. I remember that, yes.
I am this is years ago, but it was like, Kelly English is going to have... And it was called the Speed Bump Pop-Up Bar or something, just because you were... you had a good sense of humor about it, despite the fact that it's legitimately ridiculous.
One of the cool things about Memphis specifically, I feel like, is that you don't have to... I look into a lot of different major cities, and people have to kind of put on airs about who they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been able to be myself in Memphis and talk about things that maybe weren't textbook to talk about, or say what's right and what's wrong, or at least what I think is right and wrong, and still, have a business that works. So shout out to Memphis.
I found it.
Look at you.
I found it. So I said a local chef will turn the famous median on Cooper Street into an exclusive speakeasy this weekend only. Chef Kelly English will open a Machine Gun Kelly English's speakeasy, Prohibition themed bar on top of the 5-inch tall concrete median in Overton Square. The bar will serve craft cocktails like, if you put up a warning sign, we will hit that too. I need a new tire, medium mojito, and new bumper Negroni.
There were so many cars stuck on top of that median, and I used to go out and take videos of it. I wish I still had them all. Well,
thank you for laughing with us. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. That is all the time we have. Tune into Soundbites.
Come eat Hawaiian.
Yeah, come eat Hawaiian. Tune into Soundbites on WYXR Radio on Thursdays at 11. Listen on iTunes or Spotify, dailymemphian.com. Thank you again, Kelly, and adios.